Hello everyone, welcome back. And today I think we're going to do something a little bit more musical. My goal here is to create a sequencer that can play chords. I can give it a chord and it will arpeggiate that chord. I guess it's not really a sequencer, it's more of an arpeggiator. Um, it can play up through those notes in that chord in the order that I chose, that I entered them, and then I want it to just repeat over and over, playing notes from that chord. So let's just get started with a K slider. Let me increase my size here. So I can use this K slider to generate note events coming out of the left outlet, key values. If I wanted to use uh, a MIDI keyboard, an external keyboard, I could certainly do that with the note in. Now, what I want to do is I just want to take the last four notes that I played as the chord. And an easy way to do that is to use zl.stream. And I want to tell it how big of a list I want, 4. So I can plug in my K slider or note in. You don't have to put the note in if you don't want to use a MIDI keyboard. Use the ZL stream, and then if I have a message and I just play a chord, let's say C major chord, then when I play 4 notes, it gets stuck into this message box. If I keep playing, then the new notes come on the end and the first note gets bumped off. And the order that I play them is retained. It's just new notes come in at the right and fall off the left. So that's kind of the mechanism I'm going to take advantage of to provide a list of notes that I want my arpeggiator to play. So ultimately what we're going to do is we're going to use a list function called zlinth. And zlinth takes a list in its first outlet or inlet, and it takes an index. So in order to play this, I want my index value to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go back to 1 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Easiest way to generate that kind of thing. We're going to need our metronome, and I'll set one up for 200 with a toggle there to turn it on and off. And what we're going to do is compute that 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 index. So I'm going to do that with a counter. And I could get sophisticated and I could set a maximum for the counter and fiddle with it more, but I found the easy way is just to use it as is and then use the mod operator to take the remainder. So your modulus, you're going to divide by 4 and take the remainder. So that number output will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. So to that we're going to add 1 to get it to the 1 through 4, and then that's going to go into our index number. Now you may notice that the index here on zlinth is cold, meaning that it's not going to trigger output from zlinth. So what I would only the list or something else could do it. So I could set it up so that I use a trigger down here to set the index and trigger the output. But it's going to be triggered anyway whenever the list changes. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use a trigger, and I'd like for it to set the index first before it sets the list. So from my metro, I'm going to go into this trigger, And you know, in Max, the order of operations is from right to left. So this is the first output that will happen. And so the first thing I want to do is increment my counter. Get rid of that. Increment my counter, calculate all the way down to the ZL nth, and that'll give me my index. After that is done, so you know, it goes right to left, and then when it goes like on the right here, it goes all the way as deep as it can until it gets to some operator that has no output. In other words, it's going into a cold outlet, or until it's, you know, finished completely. So then after it goes all the way down and calculates that, it goes back and does the next bang, which is from this trigger, which is going to set the list. Going to set the list into the ZL nth, and that should give me, if I look at my output, that should give me a sequence of numbers, that sequence of numbers. And if I type more into it, if I go up here to the high numbers and do a bunch, then you can see it's working with that list. So now we just need a way of hearing the note. I'm just going to put together a quick little synthesizer that just has a fixed, everything about it is fixed. I'm just going to hard code everything. So I'm not going to go into great detail about what I'm doing exactly, but I will tell you what I'm doing anyway. So first I'm going to use convert that MIDI note number to a frequency, and that's going to go into my saw, and then I'm going to put my saw into a product. Now the reason I'm doing the product is because I want to modulate the amplitude of the saw. I'm going to do that with an ADSR, and I'm going to have a 0 attack and a 200 millisecond decay. The sustain will be 0 and the release will be 0 milliseconds. And that's going to trigger from that note coming in and go into the product to modulate the amplitude. I'm going to go also use a low-res low-pass filter. Just set it at 400 hertz and say 0.3 resonance. And we'll go into, again, keep things nice and tamed, and then into the Easy DAC. So that's our synthesizer output, and we should be able to hear it. What am I missing? Oh, gain. Gain might help. So just, you know, following down. Oh, I didn't connect my low res. There we go. So that's kind of neat. We can just play notes on our keyboard or a fake keyboard, use our MIDI controller, and just pick notes to play in our arpeggio. It'd be nice if I could also, when I hear a particular, you know, arpeggio that I like, it'd be nice if I could save it and then come back later and use it again. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to just create another message box coming out of our ZL stream that's should just be an exact copy of what's over here. What I'll do is I'm going to use a U menu, a pop-up menu, and what that will do is I can store things in a menu and choose them later. So If you look at the menu help, you'll see that there's a message called insert. So I'm gonna take that list and I'm gonna prepend it with the insert message and a 0. And so the way that the prepend message works is, or the insert message works, is that it inserts a menu item at position 0. So new messages will go into position 0 of this. And then the center outlet, if I pick the left, it's going to give me a number. If I pick the center one, it's going to give me the text of the menu item, and that's really the list back that came out. So I can just stick that right in there. So let's turn that on and see. So let's say I like that chord, then I can just click on that message, and you see now it's stored down here in this menu, and I can pick another one. See, I like that one. Okay, click that again. And now you see I've got 2 items in my menu. So I hope that is helpful. It's fun to play with. You know, you have an idea of something that might work, and you can make it happen. And it's pretty cool. So if you have any questions about this so far, let me know in the comments. And what I want to do is I want to get a little deeper into sequencing with this sort of framework. And I want to go into how you can use signals to control your timing. And this is really something I've alluded to before that I learned from the book Generating Sound and Organizing Time. And it really is some interesting ways of timing things. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching.